Hey there you guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you came to see what I'm up to today in my little sewing corner. And today we're going to make these cute little drawstring bags, and this is a Christmas fabric motif. And they are super simple. If you have never sewn before and you have a sewing machine and want to just test out a little easy project, this is ideal. This is a great little first beginner project. I made this little one, and then I made this one just as little examples, and then we're going to go through and start from point A to point Z, and these are great for Christmas time. Put little gifts in, anything, or even I have made some just with not Christmas fabric, but just standard, you know, maybe some floral fabric, and these are great for travel, anything, just to keep things in your purse. They're awesome. So they're super simple, so I want to show you that today. And but first, before I get into that, I just wanted to say again, thank you for all my new subscribers. You guys have really made me excited about the growth of this channel, and I just want to thank you for that. If you have not yet subscribed, I just want to invite you to do that so you can be up to date on all the happenings here on my channel. I am on a 103-pound weight loss journey. Yay! And so far I've lost 52 pounds, 51 pounds to go. I post videos on quilting, home decor, shopping hauls, my favorite place, Goodwill. Just all sorts of fun things. So you don't want to miss any upcoming videos. I would invite you to subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. Oh, but first, I wanted to show you a couple of projects aside from this drawstring bag that I'm working on. So one, as you can see, my husband installed one of my recent rag quilts that I made, and he also put up this nice thread holder for me on the wall. We are going to scooch that over just a little bit, but it's up there. So my little sewing corner is kind of cutesy and nice, but I'm working on another rag quilt, and I just love this fabric. I want to show you guys. So I've got it here by my machine. Isn't this the cutest fabric ever? It's throw size also. My absolute favorite of this fabric is, let me remove this pin. That signifies that's the first row for me. So I know which direction I'm building on, but I just love this this striped ticking fabric. But it's just kind of a homespun, you know, colors, and I ordered this fabric in the 5-inch charm packs on Amazon, and I just immediately fell in love with them. And on the back, I'm just keeping it all cream colored. I used a cream colored charm pack for that. You won't see that because the front is going to be ragged. So this is in progress. I have sewn together, let's see, 5 rows so far. So that is in progress. I always have quite a number of irons in the fire because that's how my brain works, multiple projects at once. But I want to show you this other fabric that I have. I'll move the camera closer. And this will help us as we're doing, sorry about that, as we're doing our project here. Let me get you a little bit closer here. All right, but I'm working on this, well, I've only just started piecing together these squares for a rag quilt that I'm making. See how pretty these are? They're blues and grays. This striped is really pretty too. This is another charm pack that I got from, I ordered it from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Actually, that's one of my favorite places. That's where I learned to quilt, and I'll throw some solid grays in there. And then for the backing on all of these, I'm just doing a white because I already had that on hand, charm packs. The pre-cut fabrics make it really nice. So for today's project, these little drawstring bags, let me see if I can bring you, there we are. I am using fabric that I bought this on Amazon, love Moda. This is called a layer cake, which is 10-inch pre-cut squares. And this is Mary Starts Here by Sweetwater by Moda. And this is just such a fun layer cake. So from that, I chose this black background. It says Merry Christmas, Peace and Happiness and all that. So I thought that would be a fun one so you can see the contrast. So I've gone ahead using the 10-inch squares. I've just cut off 2 inches. So they are 8 inches wide and still kept the length, because some of that will be, some of the length will be taken off because we have to make our hems. So that is that. All right, so let's get into today's project of making these cute little bags. All right, so the first thing we want to do is go ahead and turn our fabric over to put the right side down. And what we are going to do, I already have my iron preheating here, so that's heated up. So what we're going to do is just press about 1/4 of an inch. You don't really need to measure this, but we're going to go ahead and press that down. And this will start the process of, if I can get this down, of our creating that hem that we want, because you don't want the raw edges, you know, to be showing. All right. And my iron is not on. Okay, so we're back. Apparently my iron has a nice little safety feature and it had shut itself off. So, all right, so we just ironed about 1/4 of an inch hem there, and we're gonna just fold that over and make another one. That way all the raw edges are tucked under. We're just gonna kind of eyeball that. No need for perfection here. All right, that should do it. And you know what? We can go ahead and pin that just to keep that hem down until we get over to the sewing machine. How about that? I'm just gonna stick a couple pins in that to hold that down. All right. Now let's do the same thing for the back of our bag. Just about 1/4 of an inch, and we're just gonna eyeball that. I apologize if you can't really see what I'm doing. I hope you can. But again, 1/4 of an inch. And then we're just gonna fold that over and do the same thing. Hot? Hot. Oh boy. That doesn't want to cooperate. All right, there we go. All right. And then again, we'll just pin that down, and then we'll go over to the sewing machine. And what you want to do now, once we go over to the sewing machine, is we are going to just take and sew as close to this bottom seam, the bottom of this line, as possible, because we want to tack that down. If we went into the center or above there, then you're going to have that flapping up, and we don't want that. So let us go over and stitch this in place. I'm going to move this camera over to my machine now, and there we go. Sorry about the moving around, guys. We're going to go ahead and stitch that in place. Just a straight, simple stitch as close to that bottom. All right. And then we're going to do the same thing for our top piece. We're just going to stitch that down so that's tacked down nicely. All right. Now let's go back over to our table here. Apologize for the bouncing around. All right, so now what we're going to do is take our little acrylic ruler and we are going to measure 2 inches. Oops, have my little marking pencil, 2 inches from the top here. And we're going to make a mark there so we know where to start stitching. I'm not sure I can see that. Let's try that again. All right, there. And again on this side, just so we can line that up. Again, perfection is not required. So what we're going to do once we get this, we're going to fold this down to our marking there. And then that creates the space in there where we're going to feed our ribbon through. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing to this side, but while I have this in place, I'm going to go ahead and press this. That way it is all ready for us to sew. All right. And again, we can go ahead and pin that in place just so we have that down. All right, let's do the same thing for our other piece here. We're going to measure 2 inches from the top and mark that. Nice little marking sewing pencil helps because once you wash it, that will fade. That's not permanent. All right. I can almost see that. There we are. All right, now let's go ahead and press that. You could really almost eyeball that, but for the sake of this video, I marked it. And we're going to press that into place. All right. And I will go ahead and pin that as well. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to put right sides together and we are going to stitch from, okay, so then we're going to go ahead and pin, put a couple pins here just to keep our fabric in place, and we are going to go ahead and stitch at the bottom of where our hem is all the way around here. This is a good place to do a zigzag stitch, or if you have a serger, but I'm just going to do a simple stitch for now. All right, let's go back over to the sewing machine here. Sorry about that. And I'm just doing, I guess, about a 1/4 of an inch seam. Then I'm just going to pivot, turn my fabric, and continue. All right, we can go ahead and remove our pins. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take this, and I'm gonna remove this portion of my sewing machine just because that frees up some space for me. And then we are going to sew all the way around this trim piece. And we're just going to make sure the seam is just coming one way. It won't be too much bulk. All right, so we want to get as close to the bottom as we can on that seam, near the seam. If you could, you know, you can keep this pinned, but all right, and then we are done with that portion of it. And I'm gonna turn it right side out, and we're just gonna press that a little bit. But you can see how cute it is already. So we are almost done. We're gonna insert the ribbon. I'm gonna bring you back over to the table. Sorry, so much back and forth. But we're just going to press those seams. Also, this is where one of these little tiny dowels comes in handy because you can kind of poke out your corners a little bit. Don't want to poke too hard, but it kind of helps to the shape. Also, cutting away the excess fabric inside can help too. We have a loose thread here. Well, we can trim that up later, but. All right, so we'll go ahead and press the bag. All right, for this bag, I chose something pretty red ribbon since it's Christmas motif. And you can use any width ribbon you like. I believe this is 1/4 of an inch. Yes, 1/4 of an inch. And that just is pretty. Just whatever width fabric you do, ribbon you do decide, make sure that your seam here will accommodate it. So, you know, with 1 inch, that should be able to accommodate most, unless you wanted a very wide fabric or ribbon to use that. All right, so the width of the ribbon would be, let's measure once and twice. And I like to do maybe, I don't know, maybe 5, at least 5. Let's do 6 inches. So two times the width plus 6 inches. That gives us a little extra to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out 2 of those because we will need 2. I measure a little extra because how we are going to feed this in is with a large safety pin, and the end of that becomes a little frayed. So I like to trim that away when we're finished anyway. So that's why I like to allow some extra. All right, so we are going to fish this in here by just kind of cinching it through. And then once you come to the opening there, just continue the feed all the way around. See if I can get it in there. There we go. Whoops, no we don't. All right. Fabric doesn't want to open up. There we are. All right, and continue to feed that all around there until you come out to the end you came in on. All right. Then we're going to take that off there. And this is where I like to I like to do the snips at an angle. Just kind of makes it nice. And then we're gonna go ahead, excuse me, and tie that in a double knot so we don't lose that ribbon in the bag. Then we're not quite finished yet, almost. Now we're gonna feed our second ribbon through for this side. So we're just gonna put that on the safety pin and begin on this side. So basically you're just going over top of the ribbon you just fed through there, but no worries. It all works out. And fish that through there. Let me know if you guys decide to try this project. It really is a fun project. My daughter and I have done many of these bags. Like I said, they are great at Christmas time, for birthdays, anytime. And the great thing is they are reusable. So from year to year, you can use these and they last for a long time, especially if you use 100% cotton. Very durable. I'll snip away the ends. All right, and then go ahead and make a double knot at the end there. All right, and there you have it, my friends. Sorry about that, bumped the thing. Isn't that nice? Look at that. And of course you can make these any size you want. I think this is very pretty and festive, but there you have it. So like you said, let me know if you decide to try this or if you have made these bags. They are a lot of fun. Here's the other two that I made. I just love these. You can make them as big or as small as you want. You can make some tiny ones and put gift cards in there at Christmas time. They're just a lot of fun. You could put little candies in there to give to somebody. The uses are endless, honestly. But like I said, the great thing is that they are reusable. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on how to make these cloth drawstring bags. I hope you have found my instructions easy to follow, I hope. So let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share my videos, and happy fall, y'all.